I was forced to read manga recommendations in my last video, and with the really good ones came the weird or just straight up terrible ones. Heavy on the weird though. This video is dedicated to the top 3 weirdest manga I was forced to read recently. And before I get any confused comments, it's not that these manga were boring or bad per se, but the 3 manga I will be talking about today was either just straight up weird, gave me the actual creeps, or just too damn sad. Like, one of the manga I'll be talking about is just straight up weird. Like, bro, what am I reading? What am I reading? Also, if you're new around here, do me the favor and subscribe for me, please, and like the video because I'm a broke college student making these high effort manga videos, so a lot of assignments are being missed to make these, bro. Anyways, let's delve into some weird, strange, and overly sad manga that will possibly scar your mind. Now, first we have My Little Sister Can't Beat This Cute. Just this title alone is criminal. I read this manga because I was forced to read it in my last video, and I suspected it would be an innocent recommendation. I went in blind, guys, and that was a fatal mistake I made. Nothing could have prepared me for how weird this manga actually was. The title alone really should have been a hint for me though, just to how weird this manga is. But I read it, so you guys never have to read it. Thank me later. Our main character is Kosuke Kosaka, a seemingly very normal high school student who lived a very peaceful life, and an actually normal life. Nothing wrong so far, all clear, okay. He had a pretty bad relationship with his younger sister, named Kurino Kosaka, who is 14 years old, 14 years of age. Please keep that in mind, everyone. Very important. So they had a bad relationship and never talked much throughout their life, until one day he finds out a secret that his sister has been hiding from him. And this is where the manga just gets incredibly weird and should be banned on all platforms in all countries across the world. So his sister was the perfect girl at school, talented in everything, lots of friends, and very athletic. Then they bump into each other while passing by in their house, and she drops her corn collection. I can't say the actual word because YouTube will take this whole video down. And bro just looked at her with confusion and just couldn't believe his eyes. Very valid. And what makes it worse is that he discovers that she's secretly into a certain genre of this corn that starts with the letter I that I'm not saying in this video. And guys, do you know what he does? Instead of maybe questioning her and maybe getting her help for basically having a crush on her brother, bro supports her on her endeavors and her weird private interests. Yeah, this manga series needs to be filed for an investigation. Thing is, it gets even worse. In the end of the series, they end up freaking marrying each other, bro. And guys, keep in mind that she was 14 and he's basically a grown adult 18, bro. Okay, I'm done talking about this one. To the person that recommended this series to me, why did you do that to me, brother? I genuinely wish I never read this. The next series that I'll be talking about isn't exactly bad, but just extremely weird, bro. In a good way. This series is called Goodnight Punpun. From the semi-realism art style to the way all these characters behave so weirdly, Goodnight Punpun has to be one of the most uncomfortable manga I have ever read. Punpun, believe it or not, is this little thing right here. He and his family are drawn as simplistic, cartoonish, bird-like figures, while the rest of the world is portrayed in highly detailed, realistic illustrations. This contrast in art style is what I believe a choice made by the author Inuo Osano to emphasize Punpun's detachment from reality and really encapsulates his inner feelings of alienation and his self-perception of being just an outsider. In my opinion, it was a really clever art choice, but in my first time reading it, I kept questioning why no one was making comments on Punpun's appearance. But anyways, now that you guys know that, it's a bit easier to read this manga. Not really. Actually, not at all. In the beginning of this manga, Punpun is shown to be a regular elementary kid and just surrounded by weirdos. His class president is this girl, and apparently she's named the class sweetheart, even though she was caught choking this kid out. His teacher freaks out when someone doesn't do their homework, like he just literally just crashes out. And finally, his principal loves to play hide and seek and geeks out like a little girl. This is all in the first chapter, by the way. Anyways, beyond all that, what makes it all worse is that Punpun has a very dysfunctional family. His parents are very abusive and neglectful. In the first chapter, his dad constantly beat his mom and verbally abused her. It even got to the point that when Punpun woke up the next morning, he saw his mom in a paralyzed state, and his dad tried to convince him that his mom just had an accident and that he shouldn't worry about it. Basically gaslighting little bro. Yeah, bro is just living the worst possible life right now. All of this led to Punpun to develop feelings of anxiety, confusion, and insecurity from a very young age. But a saving grace actually came, and I thought the manga was going to become better. He fell in love with this girl, Aiko Tanaka, a mysterious and troubled girl. Aiko becomes a symbol of hope and escape for Punpun, and he idealizes her, often fantasizing about running away with her to live a better life, a life far away from the one he was living now. But little does he know is that she is also very unstable, and they both just get into a very toxic relationship. I mean, like, toxic. Like, he would probably be 10 billion times happier if he never met her. Without spoiling much, if you guys do choose to read this, Punpun and Aiko's relationship reaches a pretty terrifying conclusion, and it forces Punpun to confront his darkest aspects in his mind. And man, look at this artwork. This manga is just a very big play on concepts like escapism and reality, because Punpun often retreats to his fantasies and delusions as a way of coping with his harsh reality. This was a very weird series to say the least, but intriguing in an odd way, and may actually change a lot of people's outlook on life, so beware reading this one, please. The next series that genuinely just made me feel so bad for the main character is called Massacre Happy Ending. Now this guy, our main character, has got to have one of the most unfortunate turns of fate in manga history. Yes, even worse than Punpun, bro. I mean, what this guy goes through would just make a normal person die inside and out and just go all around crazy and feral. I actually question why the author wrote this story. It's literally a story of just never ending pain, like it's on some berserk timing. Bro rivals guts. Anyways, to give you guys some insight, my man Makoto Ito appears to be just a regular high schooler at the beginning of this manga, and I feel like this is a theme for the wildest stories, bro. Everything always seems to be so normal at the beginning, and then everything just hits the fan. Anyways, Ito worked 3 jobs, and he looked as if he was just an exceptionally bright young man with an amazing work ethic, but we soon learned that he worked all these jobs to pay for his dying sister's recovery. She had recently gone into a vegetative state and has a severe illness, and now if you're wondering where their parents are, well man, I have a story to tell you. So his mom is dead, so him and his sister was left in the care of his father. And when he got home in the first chapter of this manga, we finally met his dad. And you would think he would maybe ask like, oh, how's your sister's recovery going? Or how was school, son? Nah. Bro said, go grab me a beer, my friends are over. If this isn't the craziest group of panels after hearing his sad story, then I don't know what is. But it just gets worse, bro. Ito asks his dad where he got the sushi from with no money, and Ito put 2 and 2 together and realized his dad used all the money dedicated to his daughter's recovery, and bro spent it on beer and sushi. And then to justify it, bro just said she's going to die anyway. Can we just analyze this panel? Keep in mind, he's talking about his sick daughter right now and hard-earned money to guarantee her recovery. I think this guy is just up there with the most vile villains in manga history, and he's only said 2 lines so far, really. From there, Ito just crashes out on his dad for being so vile, bro. Then he gets the living daylights beat out of him for standing up. So Ito has no choice. He just runs away into the dark, asking himself if this all is even real, and why is his life so bad? Why was this life given to him? So then he goes to pray to the gods, and he asks them why did they let him live such a sad life, even though he prayed to them every day. And then he said words that would quite literally change his life and the direction of this whole entire manga. He told the gods if the future only brings despair for him and his sister, then a new day should not come at all. And right there, bro put himself into one of the craziest time loops in all of manga. And the only way for him to get a new day now is by killing somebody every single day. Yeah, so to sum up the rest of this manga, if it's not already bad enough, bro goes from a morally correct young man to a murderer who would do anything just to live. Very unfortunate life, and it's just actually so sad. And with that, that is just some manga you should not give a read, because they're either just super weird, super uncomfortable, or just super sad. But of course you have free will and you can go read them if you want. I'm just joking, obviously. If you all enjoyed this video, then please like it for me and subscribe to the channel for the effort I put into this. I love delivering high quality content or just sharing my very unimportant opinion with you guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'm now going to try to get McDonald's because that's all I can afford. Until next